All right, we're finally up to our last view here. So the HR view, or the home run view, HR. So I can see kidney popping up into my image right now. So I'm up all the way underneath the ribs. And I'm going to look for kidney. It's going to be the renal fossa. And actually it's probably duodenum because I see a little gas loop sitting up here too. Again, I don't have this side of him clipped, so it's not going to be as pretty of an image, but I'm seeing liver, just cranial to that, to the left. And then I've got my kidney sitting down here, so I know I'm in the right region. So now I'm just going to fan everything around here. Fan ventrally, fan more dorsally. There's the kidney again, and just making sure I don't see any fluid in this whole region to make sure everything looks good. Just going a little more caudal where you can see a little bit better. I was kind of going up in between ribs to get his kidney. His kidney's kind of tucked up pretty far underneath his ribs. So you start seeing rib shadows. So you see this right here, and that we call it acoustic shadowing. So if we're going to see a solid structure like a foreign body or a rib or a bone right on the near field where it hits it, we're going to get that shadow, and the shadow going all the way down through our view. So we call that acoustic shadowing. We're going to get that over the ribs. So I'm trying to go in between the ribs to get a good image. If we look, the most cranial small intestine up by the liver is going to be the duodenum. So this is a great area to start looking for pancreas and stuff too, which we can see coming into our view right up there. But that's not what we really care about for our fast scan, right? We just want to know, hey, I see liver. Cool. There's some liver. I see my right kidney. I'm in the right spot. Do a big old scan all around here and making sure there's no fluid going on. Perfect. So no fluid. I like that. And then we can move on and say that his fluid score is 0 on here. So we've got all 4 views right now. We started at 12 o'clock, diaphragmatic hepatic. We went to splenorenal at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock for our systolic, and finished up with our home run view, our hepato-renal view, and nothing going on. I have seen some texts where they talk about an additional kind of umbilical view, and they'll actually get the patient either standing or in sternal recumbency and actually stick the probe right around the umbilicus area and looking for any fluid that way. I think maybe if it's just a very gravity dependent small amount of effusion that you didn't see elsewhere, that you might pick it up that way. So this is me kind of sitting right about the umbilicus now, kind of looking around. All right, looks great, everybody. There's stomach again. Here, see stomach going up. You can probably follow it and even try to find pylorus and stuff too, but we'll cover that when we actually start looking at all our different organs that we'll look at too. Gallbladder again. There's a kind of DH view, right? Gallbladder kissing the diaphragm. There's our hyperechoic line of the diaphragm kind of sitting in the far field. And the diaphragm just kissing. Perfect. All right, so there's our 4 views that we're going to do for an abdominal fast scan. Focused assessment with sonography for trauma, triage, or tracking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add up to see if there's a 1 centimeter bit of fluid somewhere. We can know if there's, we'll give it a score of 1. If it's less than a centimeter, we'll give it a half. What you can do, we're looking at centimeters and stuff too. You don't need to use your caliper buttons. Take a look at the right side of your screen, and we've got little hash marks over there, and they're actually numbered. As you change your depth, you'll see that scale change accordingly with your depths. So right now, each little mark is what 2,4 is what 2 millimeters on here. So I got 2 millimeters, 4, 6, nope, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So each one of this is 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I guess each one is a half. So right here would be a half a centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. So I can actually check my little marks right there to see what the fluid level looks like. All right, perfect, everybody. So just those 4 views, practice it a little bit, and then you guys will become professionals. If you're looking and you can't find the organs you're supposed to, kind of just revert back to what you know about anatomy and look at the abdomen too. See where you're pointing your probe, making sure you're not missing where it's supposed to be. We know the spleen is on the left-hand side and superficial. We know the liver kind of sitting up underneath the xiphoid, pointing that probe cranially. Finding the gallbladder, we know that sits between the right, middle, and quadrate lobes of the liver, so I can aim the probe just a little bit to the right-hand side when I do that to find it. That'll give me a good view. Systolic should be right about midline. Find the bladder, find the colon adjacent to it, and then kind of putting the probe all the way up underneath their ribs while they're laying down, aiming underneath the ribs again to kind of see the liver, find that right kidney, and making sure we're in the right location. All right, so that is an abdominal fast scan. Great thing for everybody to do. I've seen clinicians even having their technicians these days and asking them to do a quick fast scan. So maybe you were working ER and might even just become part of your initial diagnostics. So, hey, can I get a TPR, blood pressure, PCV total solids, lights, and a fast scan? And we can do that really fast too. Again, it's not just because we're doing it fast. It's actually a focused assessment looking for this fluid scoring system. We can talk about it a little bit more in detail. The people are kind of going away towards just doing a fast scan. The people are kind of doing more of this whole global view of incorporating our fast scan with our TFast, and then also incorporating vet blue stuff too. So if you guys do want to learn about that more, that's going to be a little bit more in detail, but I want to start with our basics, making sure we all can get the images we want, and then going over each organ kind of one by one will be our next step, and making sure we're comfortable finding the organs, and then start discussing what's some normal and abnormal things that we can look at too. Thank you.